Welcome to Bloodbath & Beyond. Today we watched the most brutally violent zombie movie we've ever seen, The Sadness.
Written and directed by Rob Javis. This is a Taiwanese zombie film that is, much like John said, brutally violent. There are moments that'll make you just kind of say, what the hell did I just see? And they definitely push the limits, especially for the zombie genre, with its cruelty and brutality. We're not going to spoil the ending, but we will talk about some major kills. So what do we like?
It has to be our zombies. So it's not the undead, it's people who almost have rabies, but the twist in this is they are aware. They can speak, they know what they're doing, it's just they're pumped up and they're like, okay, all I want to do is kill and have sex with people.
Yeah, it's crazy. They do explain it in the film, and it's just basically they have no control over their deepest, darkest desires, I guess. And I don't know why everybody desires to murder everybody, but hey. But I think the coolest thing about these zombies is that, like, the way that they look is so damn creepy. They've got these black eyes, and they just have these big grins. And it's terrifying because they are so happy to be doing what they're doing. They're breaking limbs in the streets, they're ripping people apart, and they'll just turn around and be like, hey, how's it going? And just with this big ass smile on their face, sometimes a tear. You can tell in certain moments, it's like, yes, they want to do what they're doing, but there's some guilty conscience in there as well, which is that lingering sadness in the background.
Yeah, and that's what makes most of these kills brutal, is because it's people doing creative things to other people. This has one of the coolest deep fryer deaths, like, I think we've ever seen, where...
Hey. Blood Diner, remember? There's a lot of moments in this movie that just, like, the zombies are just so overly violent. A great example are just these, like, 4 kid zombie guys in, like, a basketball court, just torturing this dude, just beating him with baseball bats till the point where he's, like, unrecognizable as a man. It's just, like, everything just feels painful.
On top of that, story-wise, we have a great antagonist, because at the beginning we have our main leads in Kat and Jim. They're a young couple, and Kat's going off to work. She's got to ride the subway, and Jim, well, he's going home because he doesn't work. On the subway, Kat's interacting with this old guy who is creeping on her. Sure enough, he turns into one of these zombies, and the film is him chasing after her because he's so obsessed with her. We actually have like a boss zombie, like a proper antagonist who we hate and can't wait to see what's gonna happen.
And that whole subway scene is just something else as well. It's just mayhem, just pure mayhem. You're not only shocked by just the sheer, like, intensity that just ramps up when a guy just starts stabbing people, but also just the amount of blood that's going all over the place. You're just taken back by a lot of moments in this movie. Probably one that's most notable is an umbrella to the eye.
Oh, it is a wild ride. It really is.
Yeah, and there are definitely super disturbing scenes. One almost straight out of a Serbian film, which we're not gonna talk about and we're not gonna spoil for you, but it's not the baby one, Alice. But there are creepy ass babies as well.
They're just garbage pail kids.
The main characters are great too, because we do have like 2 divided storylines and we're waiting for them to converge. So there's a lot built up and you're just emotionally invested with this random couple that seemingly, like, you don't learn too much about them. You're just like, okay, they're in love, they're doing their own thing. And that's all you really need. You're just watching them, like, experience something that's so horrendous that you're putting yourselves in their situations. If I was just going to work and this was happening, or my girlfriend was going to work and she was being harassed, like, they're talking back and forth via text message, and they're just like, hey, you need to, like something's going on here. It's just a really well done movie as well, like, from a production standpoint too. I don't know why those abandoned floors in the hospital were lit like that. Like, they were like, hey, throw Philip's hue over here. We want pink, we want blue, we want whatever. This is gonna look like whoever's up here in the maternity ward is having a fucking party walking down these plastic lined hallways. Why not? Seems weird, but I appreciated it because it looked cool. And that's what a lot of this movie is about. Like, there's scenes that don't really need to happen that just are cool.
Like bloody orgies?
I was much like that one guy just creeping on the corner like, do I want to join? Do I not want to join? I don't know if that's what was going through his head, but that's what was going through my head. If I'm already about to become a zombie, probably, I may as well just jump in there, dick out. I would have slipped and slid my way right down there.
Just take your clothes off and just go down that bloodbath, slip and slide.
Lubing myself up on the way. It's ripe for disease and zombification if I'm not a zombie already, but hey. But now what didn't we like?
It's a weird thing, because it's not like it's a dislike. I just feel like a movie like this, you need a score to accompany the emotion. And nothing stands out to me.
Yeah, like I'm sure there is like some cinematic beats, but like I didn't really recognize that either. There was no like epic things, which maybe that's part of it. Like maybe that was a conscious decision. I don't know if it detracted from the experience. I still enjoyed myself regardless, but I can understand why you would want some, yeah. There are a couple things in the third act that I felt like dragged on a little bit too long, that didn't add anything to the story. I can't really talk about them, so I'll play random B-roll here that have nothing to do with the end. But there are some moments, and if you've seen the movie, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, specifically on Kat's side of things.
We didn't really have sympathetic side characters, like people who you are supposed to really get behind, and then when they die, you're like, oh, why did that person die?
They tried. They tried with Molly.
They tried with Molly.
They tried with the guy with the broken nose.
They didn't have like that strong sympathy character. Every zombie movie has that person who is either comic relief that you're rooting for, or that like underdog that when they die, you can potentially shed a tear because you're so hurt by it.
Yeah, which is almost ironic because it's called The Sadness, and yet you don't really feel sad for anything that's happening. Maybe Kat, maybe, but like at the same time, there's not a strong enough like emotional connection to even the main characters. Like you recognize that they want to meet and they want to get back together, but you didn't know enough about them up front to even really care. All we had seen them is like, oh, they woke up, they enjoyed that time together, and they had a disagreement because one wanted to work and one wanted to go on vacation, and that's all you learn about them. Like you don't know anything more than that.
I feel I want them to survive, but if they don't, it's like, okay, that's fine.
Again, no spoilers.
Yeah.
Whether they survive or not, you don't really care. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Having not watched a zombie movie in quite some time, I really enjoyed myself with The Sadness. It was crazy bloody, but I did just like the characters, and I was interested in seeing where it went. However, I don't think we learned enough about the characters for me to really care. It was still a really great zombie movie, and I would highly recommend it. So I'm gonna give this 4 creepy neighbors out of 5.
This film brought something new to the zombie genre, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that their take on what these zombies represented as a more rabid type with actual human emotions was different, because now they've become more savage. But what I was hoping out of this film was better character development. I don't think our characters were developed enough to get behind, and we didn't have enough side characters to really feel for the story itself. But it was still a good story and a good film, and I would definitely check it out because it is graphic, bloody, brutal, and fun. So that being said, I give this film 4 oh snap moments out of 5.
Oh snap!
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you have any you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything here on Bloodbath and Beyond that may or may not include other zombie movies at some point.